Jacob Rees-Mogg names BBC the Brexit bashing corporation in question time leave defence. Jacob Rees-Mogg has renamed the BBC the Brexit bashing corporation as he accuses the organisation of biased coverage following the EU referendum decision on question time. An audience member asked whether Bank of England Governor Mark Carney and the BBC will finally admit that Brexit will happen and get behind Britain, instead of deprecating our nation and continually weakening our bargaining stance. Mr. Rees-Mogg also renamed the BBC the Brexit bashing corporation. He said, "Dear old auntie. How many times have we heard on the BBC in spite of Brexit? In spite of Brexit, a record 3 million jobs have been created since 2010, in spite of Brexit unemployment is at its lowest level since 1975, in spite of Brexit England defeated the West Indies at Lord's." The Sun carried out a survey of the Andrew Marr Show. The Andrew Marr Show has had 84% of its people on being anti-Brexit, 129 interviewees against 33 in favour. The balance of the BBC has been against. But, former SNP leader Alex Salmond believes that Britain's bargaining stance has been weakened from triggering Article 50 too early. He said, "What weakened Britain's negotiating stance was to invoke Article 50 and go into a time-limited negotiation where we couldn't afford to have no deal. And as soon as we did that, we placed every single card in the hand of the other 27 European countries, represented by Monsieur Barnier." Mr. Rees-Mogg continued, "I disagree with something Alex Salmond said, that is, during the referendum campaign the BBC behaved very well and tried extremely hard to be independent. It got such a shock when we voted to leave that since then I think it has behaved very badly, and I think that the situation we are in terms of the negotiations is exactly what you would expect. We have the 2-year time limit and exercised Article 50. It simply wouldn't have been implemented. We had to exercise Article 50 and now we are getting on with it. Of course it is an argument, that's the nature of negotiation." One audience member gave a backhanded statement in support of Mr. Rees-Mogg and said that he agreed the BBC is biased. He said, "With respect, I think the BBC has been biased against Brexit. I think that during the referendum campaign, what you would often did was you got someone very intelligent to speak on behalf of Remain and you managed to get someone less intelligent to speak on behalf of Leave. But not you, Jacob." It comes as Conservative MP for Somerset called Mr. Carney one of the enemies of Brexit and said he has opposed it consistently. But the Brexiteer said he criticises the Bank of England for becoming too politicised. He added, "The reason why I have criticised the Bank of England and continue to do so is that during the Brexit referendum, he made the bank's views on Brexit clear in a way that he never does in a general election. He didn't give his view earlier this year on what Mr. Corbyn's economic plans would do to the United Kingdom, but he did express a view on Brexit. That seemed to me to politicise the Bank of England and it besmirches its reputation."